gonna take this bearing cap off and see what happens. Like I said earlier, this is my first international. These bolts are nice and loose already. I don't know if I'm happy about that or not. But they came out real easy. So yeah, this is my first international I'm doing. It's always an adventure. People always wonder, they ask, they see the tractors that I've done, and they'll ask me, how do you know how to put all that together? You must be a genius. And I tell people, nope, I have a full manual on it with a full parts breakdown, because without that, I would be lost. And even sometimes with them, I am still lost. So, no, I do not have all this stuff in my head. It is definitely something that I need book assist with to do. So if you're doing one of these, definitely get yourself the manual. You want to know how it all goes back together. They're out there, they're readily available. It's well worth the investment. That's not wanting to come off so easily, probably because it's got the bearing in there. It's pressed on and probably pressed onto the shaft a little bit. I think what I might do for now is I'm going to take and loosen this outside piece here, and which is also, the bolts are loose on that one. I wonder why there's probably such a leak in here. So yeah, this is very much a learn by doing, but that's what makes it fun, you know. Just make sure you have that manual. It'll save you. Like I said, I've even had issues having a manual, not being able to figure things out. They can be complex at times. Let me see if this will be a little bit better. Now, this transmission does have a little bit of oil left in it, if you want to call it oil. It's probably more representative of sludge than anything else. It's very black, which tells me it's very old. I did not see a lot of water in it, which is nice. Seeing that my Model B John Deere that I have behind me, which was the last tractor I restored, when I pulled the drain plug on it, I got about 3/4 of a 5-gallon bucket full of water before I got anything that resembled oil. And that was why I took that whole transmission apart. I probably could have gotten away with not doing it here. Like I said, we're this far. We don't really know the history of the tractor. It is very sludge-like in there. Why not just start off with a good clean transmission? The other thing that we can do is we can go through, we can look at all the gears, check for any wear, broken teeth, anything like that. Because the last thing in the world you want to do is get a machine all back together, all painted nice, start it up, and then find out that, well, it doesn't go in the 4th gear because of whatever reason. So we're just going to take the time and do it right, be thorough about it. Yeah, it's going to cost a little bit more money because we're going to need to do new seals, new gaskets, but then we have the peace of mind too that they're all new gaskets and seals and we don't have to worry about leaks so much. Well, all of my bolts are out of there, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Let's just see if I give this a little tap. There it goes, it's loose. See if I can just work it off of there. There we go. And there we have the face off of it. I'm going to see, is this a gasket? It is a gasket. We'll throw it back on there just so that we know that we have it. One thing that I will be careful with as I go through this is make sure that if there are any shims on any of the surfaces, that we need to keep those on there. We want to have the correct number of shims in there. When we put it back together, we'll check for wear, make sure that we have enough shims. We don't want to find out the hard way that we have a lot of play in the transmission. So now because we're here, I'm going to take and pull this guy off as well. But before I do that, just because I don't know what I might get, I did bring this tray here. The last thing I want is a ton of oil on my floor if I can help it. Those are loose too. I did not loosen these before I did this, honest. This is my first time throwing a wrench on here. And it speaks volumes. Well, I also have too small of a socket, or too big of a socket. Let me get a smaller one. But they felt loose. Let's try that again. Yeah, they were still loose. It wasn't just me and the wrong size wrench. They were pretty loose. Which probably explains why we have all this leakage in here. I'll pull these guys out. And even though I don't know the history on this tractor, I have to say that it's coming apart fairly easily. The Model B John Deere that I restored, because it sat outside for God knows how long, I took a lot of it apart with a puller and a porta-power, which is not how we want to take apart a tractor. But that was the only way I could get it apart. This guy does not seem to want to come off as easily. We might just leave that for now. What we'll do is I'm going to go around to the back side of the power takeoff. We'll get that taken off, and maybe we'll come back and revisit this at that time. I know probably a lot of you guys are out there right now yelling at me what to do, but I don't want to beat anything in the submission here. So we're going to try to take it easy. We'll just take it apart little by little, and we'll figure it out as we go. And if you're doing yours that way, I mean, that's the best thing to do. Just be careful. Take your time. Be gentle with stuff. Don't wail on stuff with a hammer. I know a lot of guys like to just break out a big hammer and start swinging away, or a torch and start heating stuff up. Give it a chance. Work with it. Don't force anything. And if you have to force it, just be super careful. You don't want to break anything. You break parts on these, they're getting harder to find. You can still get them, but don't let that be an excuse to wail on something and pull it off. So let's go over, we're going to pull that power takeoff shaft out. All right, we're on the back here with the power takeoff. I'm not going to take the bearing cap off on this one, because I'm pretty sure this whole unit comes out as one piece. Pretty sure. I'm making that assumption, and yes, we all know where that word gets us sometimes. Hopefully, I'm correct. We're going to find out. Like I said, it's part of the adventure sometimes. Just pull it apart and hope for the best. So again, those bolts were all pretty loose. I can't get to this one with the ratchet, so I'm going to have to go inside. They come apart pretty easy. It definitely makes doing this a lot easier. Like I said, I have pulled machines apart that everything was a breaker bar and an impact and hammers and torches, and it's just never good. I don't like doing tractors like that. It's just not the way I like to do it. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? So, okay, I got that loose over there. I am going to just work this guy out of here just because he's so hard to access. I can move it with my fingers. And then I'll take this last bolt out, and hopefully this will come out as one complete unit. I don't think there's any more bolts underneath. I think I already pulled those out when I pulled the rear hitch off. I'm going to take a look real quick. Oh, there is one. Yep, there's one right there. It was over on your guys' side. You guys didn't tell me it was over here. All right. As you can see, I got my oil pan underneath, just because I don't know what I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, I've drained this already, but when things set and settle for a while, you never know what surprises are around the corner. I try to keep my floor as clean as I can. So this is probably not light. It came out really easy. It feels like it's got a really long shaft attached to it, which it does. But there we go. It has pulled out. Power takeoff's out. I'm not pouring oil all over the floor. Life is good. All right, well, it's time to take this top plate off. There's a lot of bolts that hold it on. So I'm going to go around and just loosen all these, get them loose. They're all coming off pretty easily. I'm going to see if I can avoid pulling the shifter lever out, see if I can get this whole assembly off with that still intact. I'm guessing that I can. That's what I'm shooting for. If we start to go to take this off and we see that it does not want to come off without that out of there, we'll just go ahead and pull that off at that time. But if I can remove this as one assembly, that's what I'm trying to do here. The amazing thing when doing these tractors, especially ones that recently spent their lives out in the field like this one did, is the amount of dirt that you get on them. I've always wanted to save all the dirt as I clean it off and kind of see how much of a 5-gallon bucket I can fill up. See how much weight I knocked off the tractor from when I first started with it. This one had a lot of dirt on it. I think I would easily have been able to fill a 5-gallon bucket with the dirt that came off this guy. Just kind of one of those funny things as you do these and the things you think about. All right, I've loosened all my bolts up. I am employing the use of my engine lift here because I have a funny feeling that this top is going to weigh quite a few pounds because it's solid cast iron. I'm going to see if I can just lift it up. I've tapped it a little bit with my dead blow hammer and it did appear to start coming up. I'm just going to start lightly taking weight off of this and just see if I can get it to lift up at all and come straight off. I may give it a little pry. Oh, there we go. It just broke loose. Good. Good. I'm going to take my pry bar and just help this out here a little bit. I did take that bolt out of there because I didn't know what we were going to be up against with that. This does seem like it is coming up. I just want to make sure that it comes up evenly. Seems to be something holding it in this corner, but that just might be 1953, still working hard to hang on to things. Let's see if I can pop this dude up. Feel like there might, yeah, there's a pin in there. So I'm going to lower this down for a second, take some of the side load tension off of that pin, and we'll pick it back up. Because I think if I can get it up off that pin, there we go. It should lift straight up. And it doesn't look like anything wants to come with it. Just going to make sure that this end is free. Feel like everything is off. Let's see if I can just pull it up the rest of the way. I can definitely see inside the case at this point. I realize that I'm not I'm beating on the shifter forks is what I'm doing. I need to come straight up with this. So I might need to help this out here. Here we go. There we go. I was beating up my shifter forks. Make sure this is clear. I'll swing this out of the way. And we are inside the transmission. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. I'll get this off to the side and we'll come and we'll have a look have a look inside the transmission. You can see what it looks inside of there. So let's get this out of the way and we'll have a look. Well, we got the top off, and you could see down in there, there is a lot of sludge in the bottom, but I don't see any traces of water. Everything turns smoothly, which is nice. I don't see any odd wear. There is a little bit of wear on some of the gears, but nothing that really concerns me. The big thing is that it had oil in it. Everything turns. I don't see any rust. It just needs a good cleaning, and that's what we'll do. I'll get it cleaned out here. I'm going to pull the axles off. I'll get the bull gears out. We'll pull everything out of the transmission. I'll take the box itself. We'll clean it all up. And that's where the fun starts. We're going to start putting stuff back together here. So I'm really excited we're at this point. So there we are. This is where we got to today. Excellent progress. We're almost there, almost going in the opposite direction. That's all for today. If you liked what you saw, please hit like and subscribe. We're going to have more episodes coming until we get this whole tractor put back together. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time on All American Tractor Works.